Welcome back to the Weekend Truckin' YouTube channel, and today is the day that we unbox the oil bypass system. So I am going to open it up, show you guys what's all in it, and then we'll be heading over to my mechanic's house, to his shop, and we're gonna install it today. I know, you're like getting real with this YouTube stuff when you're going to take your high-tech camera, aka your iPhone, and record your mechanic working on your truck. I'm gonna help him too, but he doesn't know that I'm gonna be recording us, so yeah. It'll be interesting. Here we go. Okay, here it is. It is a pretty small box. We have oil in there, and then fuel additive, and a like diesel recovery additive in case my anti-gel isn't enough and I need something to fix it right away if my diesel was to gel up. So, opening it up, again, it's pretty simple. I've been in the box already. There is the hose, and so you'll end up cutting this down. We'll cut it to length for what we need and putting it together, putting the ends on it and whatnot. I did see a few other of the competitors have pre-cut hoses where they were already to length and whatnot, but really when you're really trying to find a spot within under the hood of your truck, you don't necessarily really know where you're going to put it. So we're going to dive into that when we get over to Chris's house with where it's going to go. I've already went under the truck and just kind of looked around on, okay, where are some places we could mount this, the bypass filter, and not have it be in harm's way, or not have it be, or the hoses, you're not supposed to have them be, next to extreme heat, and they can't have a ton of bends in them and whatnot. So we'll dive into that later. Back to the unboxing. You got your oil cap. So this is just going to replace the cap that you would normally put your oil in. It'll be a fitting up here, and then that runs to here. This is the new filter cap, and again, you'll put a fitting right here, and this is how it's going to take oil from like your normal oil system, run it to the bypass filter to have it cleaned or filtered at a 2 micron level. So then you got all your hardware that give you Loctite. Everything you need is in here. You get a little sticker. I thought this was cool, and probably going to be really helpful. So when you find where you're going to put your hardware, you stick this on, and then it's already got everything laid out for you. The filter itself is decently big, so here you have it. And then the actual hardware that'll mount to somewhere on the truck and have this connected to it is right here. So, it tells you you're in, you're out. So the out goes to right here, where it just drips back in where you'd be putting oil in. And that's pretty much it. But really, from looking at it, other than having the best spot to mount it, finding the best spot, it seems like a really easy installation, and that's what we are going to be getting to right now. All right, so we are tightening the ends of the hoses, just getting them snug, and then we'll measure everything. We're mounting the actual base of the bypass filter just on the frame, kind of right next to the oil pan, and then for the most part it's running lines and cutting them to length. That's it. Installing the core adapter, whatever that does, for the new oil filter. There you go.
Okay, hold up. Turn this the correct way. That's gonna be plenty.
So we just finished dry running these, putting the ends on both, and so now what we'll do, we'll hook them up to their respective places, because they're cut specifically to go from there down. They get some longer bolts, but around here, and maybe you can see that. I'll get a better image of it when it's done. But they'll run over down under here. So I don't think at the end of the night we ended up giving you the overview. So I'm gonna show you, this is the next morning, I'm gonna show you where it's mounted at, and then just a general overview of everything. But ultimately it took us about 2.5 hours, and within that time frame we changed the fuel filters as well, and had to run to the parts store to get longer bolts for where we mounted it. So I'll flip this over, I'll show you just the basic setup of what you'd see in the engine compartment. Everything's right here. The biggest thing is, it's a new cap for your filter, and then that runs down to the inlet, and then after the bypass it runs up and just drips back into where you're putting your oil anyways. And this one's kind of nice because it's a swivel setup, so when you go to take that off it's easy. This one on the other hand is not. We're going to look at adding a little piece on there so that it will swivel as well, so then we don't have to always take off that hose when we're doing oil changes. But let's get under the truck and look at the bypass filter itself and where it's mounted. All right, come on with me. A little tougher to get under when you don't have it jacked up, but whatever. So here we have it. Again, right next to the oil pan. So it's kind of nice because right here, this little guard is catching it, well, protecting it. And then if you can see up here, I'm not sure how bright it is for you, but we have the inlet and outlet hoses right here. So what we did was we ran them. We actually ended up taking the liner, whatever this is, off, so that we could better run these wires or these hoses together and keep it away from the engine and the exhaust. But it just runs up next to the battery and then goes up to each spot that it's supposed to go to. That is it. Overall, again, a really easy setup. The toughest thing, and this is what I'd seen on other videos too, is just where to mount it, because there's no real space inside the engine compartment. But that's it. Simple setup. I'm gonna do an oil analysis at 7,500 miles from yesterday, and we'll see what the results are, and then I'm just gonna kind of gauge it by that. So the goal is I'm getting more life out of the oil, and then I'm not changing it every 7,500 to 10,000 miles because the oil quality is still great, and we're knowing that because the analysis that we're getting back from the oil samples are telling us, hey, everything looks great in your engine. You don't need to change your oil yet. So that's the goal. If you haven't, like, subscribe, hit the little notification thing, and let me know if there's any other videos that you want to see that I don't already have out there or that aren't kind of in the works for the Weekend Truckin' YouTube channel. All right, hey, have an awesome day.